Next on Worcester News tonight, a police search in central Massachusetts when 3 teens escaped from a residential school. Plus, a student is attacked in North Brookfield. The town's superintendent working with police to catch the suspects. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. 2 potentially armed and dangerous teens captured in Hubbardston this afternoon. Police say they ran away from their school Wednesday night, prompting a reverse 911 call to be sent out to alert residents to be on the lookout. Our Chandler Walsh has the details. Chandler?
Olivia, the teens ran away from a residential school in Barrie for young males with various behavioral health issues. They then traveled to Hubbardston and the search began. Local and state police escort teens out of Hubbardston Woods. The 2 ran away from Stetson School, a residential treatment program for young males, beginning a more than 4-hour search near Barrie Road. Residents in the area say they were alerted by a robocall the teens were possibly dangerous.
Got the call and made sure that our alarm system was on and that our house was clear, and then the excitement started.
Hubbardston Police Chief Dennis Perrin says 3 juveniles at the school went missing last night. A school staff member found them out walking in the morning and was able to bring one to police.
The other 2 evaded her and ran into the woods. It was at that point that we headed out and began to comb the woods and surrounding streets.
There were unconfirmed reports the teens were armed with baseball bats. Chief Perrin says there was a public safety concern since the minors do have a history with law enforcement.
There's probably about 15 units on the ground, 2 canines, an air wing, and a grid search was completed. It's a large area of woods.
Perrin says canines were key in the teens' capture.
Eventually they hid within the brush, and one of my officers was 15 feet away from them and didn't hear them. That's how thick it is in there. And the dog did.
Neighbors say it was a hectic morning in a usually quiet and safe neighborhood.
Never had anything like this before, so it was quite shocking, and we're relieved that it's over.
Chief Perrin says the minors have minor injuries, they're in custody, and will be facing charges. Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A last-chance effort to save the former Notre Dame Day Canadian Church is unsuccessful. Thursday, Mayor Joseph Petty announced it is, quote, simply not feasible for the city to spend taxpayer dollars to help acquire it. He says in a statement, with 2 new high schools planned, expecting to cost around $500 million and another $70 million in deferred maintenance to existing public school buildings, now is not the time to take on a project the size or scale of Notre Dame Church without an intended end use. The group Save Notre Dame Alliance had been working with the Investover Hanover Insurance Group to find a purpose for the church. Police in North Brookfield investigating an incident involving someone yelling a racial slur at a student. The student was on his way home from school when 2 men approached him. Our Roslyn Flaherty has the details.
Residents and school administrators in North Brookfield are outraged after someone yelled a racial slur at a student.
Really rude, uncalled for, and very uncharacteristic to the town of North Brookfield. It's disgusting.
Superintendent Richard Lynn says a junior-senior high school student reported he got off the bus and was walking home earlier this week when a black Jeep approached him. He says 2 men yelled racial slurs and threw an object at him.
He did the right thing. He got out of there. We're really proud of him for that.
Lynn says the student told his mom what happened. The school and police were notified. In a letter sent home to parents, Lynn reminds everyone to be aware of their surroundings.
For kids in general, for adults in general, it's always better to be with another person. It's always better to know where you are.
He says the incident does not represent the town of North Brookfield and is glad the student is okay.
It's 2 people who did something really awful, and those 2 people are responsible.
Very surprised when I heard it because it's not something that we normally see in this area.
The superintendent says they're working closely with police who are investigating the incident. Roslyn Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Happening tonight, the Worcester School Committee will vote on whether to bring team sports back to the city's middle schools. The superintendent says she's planning to consolidate a maintenance position to free up $70,000 in funding for 2 sports teams. Right now, middle schools only have a basketball team in the winter, but many are hoping to add fall and spring sports.
$70,000 may not seem like a lot of money to some people, but to me, that's $1 million because it begins the process of what we've looked at as opportunities for the students that are in the middle schools, and it covers boys and girls.
And if approved, students would vote on which sports to play. The Worcester Public School District receiving a big donation, thousands of new laptop computers. The donation coming from a family who grew up in Worcester. Our Brittany Schaefer spoke with the family today and has more. Brittany?
Olivia, the Ori family visited several Worcester schools today to see students using the new laptops. They say they're happy to give back to a place that meant so much to them.
These are all our slides, so you can click on them.
The Ori family has deep roots in Worcester Public Schools.
I started at May Street School and on to Tatnick, and my wife went through very similar to me.
I went to Flag Street School, I went to Forest Grove, and I went to Doherty.
It's why they decided to donate more than 5,000 Chromebook laptops to the schools.
Anytime you can do good and inject it into the world around you, you are the beneficiary.
It's so great to be able to give back when you have had a very good experience at something, and we've had a very good experience in Worcester.
The Ori family got to check out their donation in use Thursday in classrooms at Doherty High and Jacob Hyatt Magnet schools. Visual art teacher Laura Cahill says the laptops are used every day.
Since we got them, it has just been infectious excitement. We're able to use them for translation. We're able to use them to upload resources that students might need to access. So there's just so many different ways that these are breaking down barriers for our students.
The new technology is being used in all 50 schools and programs. The district says this wouldn't have been possible without the donation.
We were struggling just to get a lot of our curriculums moving online. So in the classrooms, sometimes there's like 1 or 2 computers for 30 students. So we never would have had enough money at this point in time to be able to do anything remotely like this. So it's been a huge, huge impact.
The Ori family says seeing the students using the laptops was a moving moment.
I'm delighted to be able to give back to Worcester.
It's just going to enhance their learning. So anything that we can do to help that is great.
The district says 16% of their students don't have laptop computers at home and say this knowledge will be useful for future schooling and their careers. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
And Worcester Public Schools are hoping to get rid of study hall periods for high school students. A $3.4 million late addition to the district's budget could allow for additional elective courses instead of the free periods. The district says this hasn't been possible for years because of their budget and staffing shortages. Superintendent Maureen Benenda says most often study halls are a waste of time, and filling the time with more credits could be beneficial for students.
They'll be excited about, having pick a course that is interesting to them. It'll expand our opportunities for students to have more credits, and it will add more structure to the school day than having students have to report to study halls. Because in some cases, some students may have study halls 2 periods a day. That's a very long period of time. Far better to be engaging students in courses.
And Benenda says the extra courses would be expanding the variety of electives offered at the school. She hopes this will make students more excited about academics. An event originally launched in celebration of WPI's designation as the host of NASA's Sample Return Robot Challenge is back in Worcester this weekend. WPI's Touch Tomorrow Festival is this Saturday across the school's campus. Faculty, students, and other researchers open up their labs and projects for people of all ages to learn more about the science, technology, and robotics fields. The event attracts people from across the country to Worcester.
An opportunity for families and folks of all ages to explore different STEM disciplines, to do a lot of hands-on activities, to engage with WPI faculty as well as a lot of community partners and exhibitors, and just get excited about science and engineering.
And the school says the event is this Saturday from 10 to 4 and completely free. Some good news to share tonight from the Yarmouth Police Department. K-9 Nero, who was shot while serving a warrant with fallen Sergeant Sean Gannon, has been cleared by the vet to run, swim, and play ball. Nero was shot back in April and has spent the last 2 months recovering. Nero is not fully recovered just yet, so he will continue to live with retired YPD K-9 officer and K-9 trainer Peter McClellan for the next 2 months as he gains back his strength.